The Hut Group is an online retailer spread across a few different sites around the world, primarily based in the UK, in Manchester. We're also based a few offices in the US and Germany, and starting to spread even further afield as well. We operate many different e-commerce websites. Lots of them are for our own brands, but some of them are for external clients as well. And whilst we began shipping primarily to the UK, we're kind of actually seeing a big shift towards what is now the dominant markets, which are in Asia, China, Japan, Korea, that sort of thing. So we are very much a global retailer. I lead the checkout team, primarily working on the front end of checkout. The main projects that we've been working on at the moment are rewriting it completely in React. We started that a couple of years ago, so that's basically finished. And then we've also been doing a complete redesign, overhauling the UX and UI simultaneously to try and give a better experience, running that through a few different experiments so we can work out the actual impact that those changes have on our customer base. I think the biggest challenges have just been the crazy legacy systems that were in place, trying to find areas that we can optimize and try and bring everything to this nice cohesive way of doing it. As we were moving over to React, we knew that all of these errors which previously were in our backend that were being logged there were now going to be happening on the customer's device. We weren't going to have any visibility of that. And as we moved more and more to doing front end, whilst there was a little bit of front end stuff going on, when it was all running in Java, it was much easier to track that, get alerts, see those customers that were having the problems, what locales they were on, which devices they were using. As soon as we moved more and more to the front end, we knew we needed to make sure that we were keeping on top of those issues and catching those bugs as they occurred in a real environment. Because another difference with the front end is that people do use such a variety of devices and operating systems and browsers that you just don't get the same sorts of problems running a backend service yourself. You can control that environment very accurately and precisely to exactly how you want it, and so you can kind of capture those issues more in things like you know the testing that you do before you deploy. You'll find way more issues with the backend thing than you will with the front end thing, because you just can't ever guarantee how the customer's actually going to use it. Track.js has really improved the detection of these issues. We've had a few fairly significant things that weren't caught before we deployed, but as soon as we deploy, we then see an error being fired on Track.js. We get to then quickly investigate, determine whether it's actually impacting customers or not. If we do, we just roll back without any hesitation, because there's no harm in putting the old stuff back. It's just given us that extra confidence to be a little bit more fearless with our deployments, not worrying about Internet Explorer issues that we're always going to have, or trying to think, what someone's in a WeChat browser, but we can just get it out as best we know, and then we can kind of be a bit more like fail fast on live rather than being really cautious and taking ages to get things done. Sometimes I can almost see at a glance now. You get a bit of a familiarity with certain types of errors that come up. Often network connections are dropped, and you go, okay, well, you can't really do anything about that, and we obviously just need to work out ways of filtering those out. But things that look more legit, especially if we know we've just done a release or something, then we will just have a quick chat as a team. It's a bit easier when we're working together physically, because we can just turn around and say, this looks a bit dodgy, what do you think? In this COVID world, we just obviously have to reply and say, I'll have a quick look at this and just see if we think there's an issue. One of the biggest bugs that we found through Track.js was a bug that affected Apple Pay in certain currencies. I think it was quite a niche bug, but that obviously then at the time was stopping lots of people from using Apple Pay, and in turn will obviously have had a hit on conversion. And so actually being able to detect that through Track.js, solve it, and then reactivate Apple Pay on those certain sites enabled us to kind of continue that deployment and obviously make the business happy in the process.